welcome to the Inside Track on Real Estate with the Dekker Team. I'm Yetta Dekker, and I have a new amazing sidekick with me that you're going to love. Hi, Amber.
Hello, Yetta.
This is so neat because she's here to teach us about plants and the impact they have in our house, and also some of the things that she's doing locally and actually even in Toronto that may be an asset to you, whether you are a big corporate company that needs to have some help with your plants or a homeowner.
Yes.
Right?
That's exactly right.
And Amber, what I love about this show is we're talking about plants, which is fantastic because they're green and they're alive, and that's just cool.
It's very cool. It's very new. People, I think, recently have discovered how much they love plants and love gardening, and it's a new trend. I mean, it's always been there, but it's a new trend, and people are very aware of the advantages and the loveliness it brings to their everyday life.
And we met you when you were on a life journey, which is kind of where the whole life thing came in. So it's fascinating to me how we are brought into the lives of people at just the right time for just the right thing.
Yes, we met Yetta and Candace at the Dekker Team this past summer when our family was looking to relocate to the Ottawa area. And we had been looking for a new place to call home, and we were also moving a business, which, as you know, Yetta, is not an easy thing to do.
No.
We have 4 children, so we needed a country property. We needed something that was great for our business, which is also flower farming. We grow a lot of our own plants. We take care of a lot of plants, so I needed some sort of like solarium space or greenhouse space. And Yetta and Candace and the team were so helpful, and they sent us all sorts of listings, and we went on this marathon house hunting weekends with them. And so it actually turned out better than we expected, better than anything we could have dreamt about, because they found us the perfect place for our business and the perfect place for our family and for all of our friends. So we're very, very grateful, and I'm just super excited for the future and everything, and plus I got to meet you folks, and that's
which is pretty cool. And we got to meet you,
cool. New friends.
Well, and what's fascinating, I think, with the journey that Amber and Ed were on is because they were coming from somewhere else where they had already figured out what it looked like to have family and business together and have a very successful life amalgamated really into one space.
Exactly.
They knew exactly what it needed to look like here.
Yes.
And that actually makes life sometimes easier, and yet sometimes I think in this case maybe a little bit harder, because the first bit of looking was, how do we replace this?
Yep.
And really it wasn't a matter of replacing it per se, it was a matter of figuring out what was the best about what they had, and then what couple of things could we shift on that would make this new package at this new season in life even better.
Yes, exactly.
And that was fun.
It was very fun. And we found the perfect country location, the perfect spot for growing. It was the old Osgood Tree Farm, and a vintage house, which is what I love. And my daughter's very artistic, and we do a lot of business things with that. And just all around great recreational property for the children and for all their friends that come over and play. So in that way I'm extremely thankful and grateful and excited for spring to come and for us to be able to start planting.
Exactly, because they just moved in October, and so Ottawa has not been all that, or is it that effective for growing a lot of outdoor things?
No.
In the little bit of season that you've been here, and yet we're confident that this is the perfect place to do it. And I love it because it really was a journey.
Yes.
It was a life journey, because I think you were saying to me, Amber, that the home you lived in before that was in the Toronto area was something where you thought, seriously, you're going to be there and for the rest of your life.
For the rest of my life. I mean, it was a nice country property. It had a waterfall and and all these good memories and beautiful gardens that I created. But we're on to the next thing. And this is it.
And Ottawa was the place to call home, because we are pretty much the best city in the world to live in. Like, how cool is that?
No, we love it.
And so we're thrilled that you're here.
Thank you.
And Amber was also able to help me this Christmas, because I had a little bit of a do for a masquerade ball actually at my own home, and I needed something very specific for a table centerpiece. And so even though we're talking about interior plants and plant care and all that sort of stuff, Amber actually also creates amazing Christmas pieces.
Yes.
And year-round pieces. Year-round
Um,
pieces.
I started my business, it's called Riverwood, and I started my business where I started primarily in floral work, floral design, wedding work. And then we added Christmas decor, and we started doing corporate Christmas decor. So we've been doing that since 2000 in the GTA. So the
Greater Toronto area.
Yes, Greater Toronto area for all of you.
Well,
folks
most
in
of
Ottawa.
us probably know, and yet I don't think Toronto when I'm sitting in Ottawa. And
No.
yet you're still doing a lot of work in Toronto.
We are.
And the way you, as our viewers and listeners, can change that and get Amber and Ed to stay right here and do all the work here is if that you have corporate work that you need done, malls and businesses and
We do
all of
a lot of corporate offices.
Yeah.
We work for companies like Nissan and TJX, which is Winners, HomeSense, different construction companies and different property management companies, to where we do a lot of corporate Christmas. We do interior plant maintenance and exterior containers,
Okay.
like the big arrangements that you see out front of an entrance to an office or an entrance to a mall. We're very good at those. We've helped out at Queen's Park with another company called the Grounds Guys, which has worked really well for us, teaming up with landscape companies. And we add more of the artistic side of it. We're the ones that do all the fancy stuff that looks
Well, that's good.
brilliant
I like
and
the fancy
fabulous.
stuff.
And also, like, you know, to help your viewers, like if you're selling a home, that's a way that you can really help stage your home in a way that looks really good and gives that wonderful first impression. Someone walks up to the front door of your home, you've got, you know, a container with some lovely plants in it. We always do 4 seasons, spring, summer, fall, and then a winter. And the winter goes from the middle of November all the way until the frost goes away, which who knows when that is.
Yeah,
But
that's
I think
right.
it's April
And this
or
year
May.
it's going to be a while.
We'll see. But it's a lovely way to make a first impression that works really wonderfully. So one thing we're using our new property for is to grow a lot of what we use for our floral work. So all of our weddings, there's a new trend. It's started in the States where people are buying locally grown flowers and foliages instead of buying standardly. It's shipped on an airplane from New Zealand, from Colombia, from a lot of these places. So people want to make their footprint smaller and buy local, and you get fresher flowers, you get fabulous different types of flowers now that are being grown, a lot of heritage seeds that are being planted. Old-fashioned roses are really popular. Peonies are lovely. So all of that is going in at the farm at Riverwood this spring. We've
Wow,
already got
and
all our seeds, so
that is wonderful.
it's exciting.
And it's in Ottawa or just outside Ottawa, so it's easy. I mean, they deliver, which was, I love that.
We deliver,
I actually
yep.
got delivery, which was way
Yep.
better than having to think about it because there's lots
Exactly.
going on. And so there is delivery as well. And obviously for the corporate stuff, you're going on site and you have teams of people.
We have teams of people, and we
So
go
it's
on
not
site.
you all by yourself.
No. I have a team in Toronto, and I have a team here, and we work absolutely wonderfully together and have a lot of fun. So that's, I think, a big key to success with a business is if people like working with you and you have people on your team that you can really count on. And yeah, I have people that are absolutely wonderful. So I'm very
And they're
grateful.
do an amazing job
Yes.
for you. And what's kind of cool around this is because we have a trend to the native plants, it actually is, they last longer.
They do last longer, and they also aren't covered in chemicals. A lot of people don't know this, but a lot of the plants that you get and flowers that you get from a typical supplier, if they've come from far away, they are sprayed down with all sorts of chemicals. So we garden naturally. We don't garden technically organically, but we do garden naturally. So no pesticides, no crazy sprays. Even with all of our interior plant maintenance, we don't have any chemical sprays that we use in the office space. It's only horticultural oil, which is, you know, you could eat it. It's not a big deal.
You got to do something.
Exactly, to take care of the bugs.
Yes.
But I find that people really like this option, and we also have an option where we do an option for, say, DIY brides. So brides who want to do their own flowers, and they can come out to the farm, pick their own flowers, or choose what they want the week before. We call them bucket brides, so they can buy flowers by the bucket. So it's $80.
That is so fun.
It's $80 for 45 stems of locally grown fabulous flowers, and you and your friends can do your own party or do your own wedding centerpieces or whatever. So
that's neat.
It's really nice for those that are crafty.
Do them.
Absolutely, we do. We've been booking weddings already, and we do everything: bouquets, decor, lighting, vintage pieces, the whole 9 yards. Yeah.
And even if we were talking about getting your home ready for market and putting the right seasonal planters outside, because it totally changes your first impression. There's nothing that creates more warmth, even in the winter, when you've got just the right arrangement, as long as you get the snow off of it, which is my battle right now. I've got some beautiful ones at my front door.
Yeah, so they're covered in snow.
And they're covered in snow, and yet I have taken the snow off a few times. So as long as you eliminate the snow, or maybe put them in a sheltered area if you can, they really will last 4 or 5 months.
Oh, they do.
Which is incredible.
They really, really do. Key to any sort of either exterior planters or interior plants. We brought some nice options here from my own solarium at home. And the key to taking care of plants is consistent care. They like to be fed at a certain time. They like to be watered. And I tell people, give all your plants a drink on Friday night or on Saturday morning. Just have that be your plant day. So if you have, you think, oh, I can't grow a plant. Well, start with like a dendrobium orchid. There's a dendrobium orchid right here, or Phalaenopsis orchid actually. And Phalaenopsis or dendrobiums are both very easy care, and they are, they just take an ice cube size amount of water once a week. So if you do that every Friday, you water this and you water your other plants. Usually we count when we water plants. So it's like a 1, 2, 3. That's pretty much all plants need. They don't like to be overwatered, and they don't like to be underwatered. And they love consistency. They love it that if you have it near a bright window, that you turn it. That way you won't end up with your plants growing all to one side. They'll grow straight. So you turn it once a week. So you water, you turn, and then you can take, I get these wonderful cloths. I think you can get them at Canadian Tire, Costco, and just give your plants a dusting. You just dust off the leaves, and it will help them not get that fine layer. They kind of get like a layer, and it makes them look dull.
Yeah, almost like a dust, right?
It looks like, it is dust, and it blocks the sunlight from getting to the leaves, and then the plant fails to thrive eventually.
Do you have to mist the plant at all?
No. You just dust it off the leaves once a week. Give it a turn. It's good to go.
And give it some water when you turn it.
Give it some water. I always water first, because then you won't forget. Always water first, then you take care of how it looks. Check for any dead leaves, pinch them off. Look for anything like spider mite and mealybug. They're two bugs that are often common to interior tropical plants. And if you see like little webbing or like little white pieces of cotton, you have an issue. Do not use your cloth on that plant and then transfer it to other plants in your house. You'll spread.
I would do that.
The issue.
I would do
you can't do that.
Okay, that's
so
why
if you see that you have little friends that have now come to roost on your new plant, best thing to do is to wash it off. Water, and we use insecticidal soap. This is insecticidal soap. You spray it down and just leave it. And once a week you spray it, and you keep an eye on it. The other thing you can use for spider mite, and you'll see the little webbing, it looks like little tiny spiders, is a bit of Dawn dish soap, or any sort of dish soap.
I was going to say Dawn particularly.
It doesn't need to be Dawn particularly. Any type of dish soap, and with some lukewarm water, and you just get soap suds all over your plant, and give it a good rinse. Let it sit there for a few minutes, and rinse it off. And they don't like that either. But this insecticidal soap works very well. It works good for other things too that might happen. But there's so much information online about plants and plant care, and we just find that consistency really does really well. And that's another thing, if you're selling your house and you're staging your house, if you have a couple beautiful plants just in say like a bathroom on the couch, or on your island in your kitchen, it just adds that bit of living green beauty to your home, and it really helps sell it.
It
I
does.
would think.
And what I love about this is everything we're saying about that what's great when you're selling your house is also great when you're living in your house.
Exactly.
So even if you are going to stay in your home for the next 15 years, or like Amber, never move, or at least not often, then you still want to put the plants in, because there's something wonderful with having that life sitting in your home as well as inviting you into the home. So although we're talking a little bit from the resale perspective, we're also advocating for the exact same treatment if you're not planning to move, because you know that I love it when you stay where you are. And I also love it if you're going to make a move that you call the Dekker team and have us give you sometimes a second opinion and sometimes a first opinion. We are here to help you with preparing your home for market as well as actually getting it sold. So if you're just joining us on the Inside Track now, we're talking about plants and the impact of them on your home and on your life, on your actual well-being. So you'll want to go back and listen to the first half and even hear a little bit about Amber and Ed's journey as to how they got here, how they got to Ottawa and what that was like for them. And then we've talked a bit about interior plants and container plants, and we have lots more great stuff. So stay tuned. If you have already been, don't think we're going to repeat anything. We're not. You're going to have to go back and listen to the first half. So thanks for that. And we talked a little bit about 4 seasons, so I just want to touch on that a little bit, because to me that is kind of exciting to think that I can have green both outside my house when I come in and also inside. It's a little bit easier to maintain the inside ones year round.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about what kind of exterior plants or greenery do we do in the 4 different seasons? How do they vary?
Part of it varies with your site. So say like the front of your home or your office is south facing. It's very, very warm, even in spring and fall, and it gets a lot of sun. So that, you have to bear that in mind when you pick plants, or you deal with someone who's helping you pick plants. Another thing would be shade. If it was completely shaded under an awning or under a patio cover, that has to do with it. In spring, I love to do bulbs.
Oh,
and we put them in early spring. Usually if we lived in a warmer climate, you put them in the fall in your containers outside, leave them there all winter, and they're fine. But here in Canada, where we live, that does not work.
Oh, it doesn't? Because they don't come all the time,
They will
right?
completely freeze, and it won't work in a container setting.
Right. In the ground, you can do that.
In the ground, they're fine, but in a container setting, they're too much exposed, and they will not work.
Okay.
So we do, I always like to have something up the center of a container, and that's something that can stay there for all 4 seasons. So you buy a globe boxwood, you buy a globe cedar or a pyramidal cedar, or some sort of neat, I do a lot of things with like some sort of obelisk that's made out of, say, like metal and that type of thing. So it gives you that tall center focal point, and then you can do anything around the base and switch that out. Like for spring, it's great to do pansies. They're very cold hardy, so you can put them in early in the season. You don't have to wait till May 26th. You can go very early.
Okay.
I do bulbs. Anything like that would work in pretty much any setting, whether you have shade or sun.
You can do bulbs and pansies.
Yes.
And would you even mix those?
I do. I mix all sorts of things. Look at the colors on the front of your house, or look at the colors that are on the logo of your business. So say your colors are all like Dekker Team. I would do red, lots of red and big and bright.
And a little bit of purple.
And a little bit of purple.
Because I like the
because
purple.
Yetta loves purple. And purple and red are lovely together.
I
love that
them.
color combination.
Me too.
So, and you can do dramatic and modern and get some cool, funky black sticks or something that goes up. And the other thing I always make sure is that your container is wiped down. We always make sure the containers are wiped down, especially when it's still slushy and you've got salt residue and things like that. Wipe it down, wash it down, make sure it looks nice and clean. Summer, same thing. We do a lot of grasses. We do a lot of perennials. And a lot of people don't think that you can do perennials in a container.
Yeah.
But actually they're hardier than a lot of annuals, and they don't take as much water.
Oh, and they, because, okay, she just got my attention, because the hardest thing for me in the summer is I love all those brilliant colored florals that I will buy at the market, or and now that I have you, you know where I'll be going. And by, I don't know, 2 weeks into the summer, maybe 3, there's been 2 or 3 days, because those take a lot more than daily, weekly watering. They can take
They're daily. They are absolutely outside containers, especially if it's in a sunny location, is a daily watering regime. The other thing you can get, and there's a new type of pot, and they do sub-irrigation. And we do a lot of sub-irrigation, to where the container actually has a little reservoir underneath, and you can put in a huge jug of water into that reservoir, and the plants suck up from the bottom and take water as needed.
And I'm getting some of those this year, because I went to one of my clients' homes, and she had one, and I looked at her flowers 3 weeks after mine were already dead, and I said, you must spend a lot of time. Like, how do you get out here every day? Because it would take me 15 minutes to water all my containers, and so it didn't happen every day. And I said, how do you do it? And she goes, oh, I got a secret.
Yeah.
And so this year, this is what we'll be using. So there's a lot of things we can, because I often stopped doing plants because I thought it's too much work.
But technically it isn't.
No.
If you're consistent, you're not trying to resurrect them every 2 minutes.
Right.
And you have, sub-irrigation or a watering system works great. And also pick plants that don't need, doing hostas. A lot of people don't think about doing hostas. There's all sorts of beautiful hosta choices out there. Bright green, cool painted leaves, and the big elephant-eared ones. So those in a container are extremely hardy. CHRI is wonderful. It's got
What is that?
It's got a purple leaf, and you will love it. I have to introduce you to that.
Yeah, I think I've seen it. I'm pretty sure I don't have any. And they're pretty nice.
Anything, grasses are hardy. Any type of begonia. These are different types of begonia. They come with all sorts of amazing different type leaves. Butterfly begonias are used often. But
what's a butterfly begonia?
They have our angel wing begonias. You would have seen them, and they're draping, and they have beautiful red blossoms on them. The other thing we do to ensure the life of your container plant is to put slow release fertilizer in the soil. When you start out in the spring, clean out all your Christmas stuff, all the winter, put in new soil, make sure it has slow release fertilizer and a good potting mix. So it has some peat and it's got some stuff that's going to hold the water.
Yeah, because that's the other problem with some of the ones that you purchase.
Exactly.
So you water them and the water
just goes
vanishes,
right through.
And you think, well, that's not going to do any good.
No. And they even have a new, I just saw it on one of our suppliers, they even have hanging baskets now that have a reservoir, which is a brilliant idea. I don't have the name of it right on the top of my head, but it is out there. And that is something that really will
And you'll be having
assist.
those this year, won't you?
Yes, we will have. We will
By
have
the time that season happens,
I know.
because hanging plants are probably the most stunning in my world.
I love them.
From my perspective, and also the biggest burden.
If you have a way to put a watering system on them, that's a great thing. But if you don't, water in the morning. Always water early morning or at night.
Okay.
I like watering early morning as the best option for your gardens, for anything. It works really, really well.
And early morning, like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, or just before
if you have a sprinkler system or some sort of irrigation system on your property, sprinkler system, yes. Early morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. If not, 8 o'clock in the morning, if that's when you get up and have a cup of coffee and putter around,
that would work.
That's
okay
a perfect
too.
time, yes.
So we talked a little bit about the summer ones. We talked a little bit about the spring. And we talked about the winter containers.
Right.
What about the fall?
Fall, we do a lot of really cool branches, amazing selection of kale, cabbages.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They look beautiful.
Love them. They're just amazing. There's always new types out there all the time.
And they're local?
Locally grown. We're growing a whole bunch in our gardens this year. I love using them even in bouquets. I've used them in wedding bouquets.
I've seen them.
Fall. It's absolutely stunning. So also We have any type of berries. We do a lot of trailing ivy. We'll put trailing ivy in a container in the spring, and it goes all the way through all 3 seasons.
Wow.
And looks fabulous. Algerian ivy does really well, holds up really well.
So you don't have to necessarily replace everything every season.
And so we always try and do stuff so you have something in the center and something trailing that is hardy and does really well and gets all 3 seasons for you. And you change out your colors and you change out the stuff, the pops that go on, around the outside.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
So if you are listening and now that you've heard Amber explain what it can look like, if you not only want her help, but even you want a property that suits to do this yourself, you've got a resource in Amber.
Yes.
Right? Because she'll get you started. And I have a couple of great properties actually that have just come on the market that will actually give you the same ability to do this kind of thing. One's located in Greeley and one's located just outside Manotick. Both century type farm homes. Absolutely stunning on a little bit of land. The one near Manotick is only $430,000, which is pretty incredible for this area, and it's almost 6 acres. So if you want to do this kind of thing, you're going to want to call me for that part, and then you're going to want to call Amber because she will coach you. I'm sure she coaches businesses as well because she's had so much success in creating not just a great business, a great family mixed with the business, and it all just working together. So for local plants, how are they going to reach you? Because this is important.
Okay, you can reach us online. We have our Riverwood website, which is coming online, and the Amber at riverwoodgardens.ca is the best way to reach me.
Okay.
So it's Amber at riverwoodgardens.ca. The other way you can reach me if you're interested in interior plantscapes and planting and all of that, it's ATD, T-I-E-D-E, at plantguys.ca.
Say that a little bit slower.
A.TD at plantguys.ca. We also have a Plant Guys website. You can look it up. And also on Instagram. Instagram is a great resource if you're looking to grow your own vegetables, grow your own gardens. There's pictures. There's a huge online community of flower farmers, and they all help each other. So I have been so well supported in this new venture.
That's amazing.
So
what's the 1 or 2 things that you want everybody to know when it comes to plants, both interior and container?
That you can grow them, absolutely, and live with them. And it's funny, you come to care about them, and the plants do well for you. It's kind of like humans.
Okay.
You treat them well.
The whole living piece really works.
You treat them well, and you give them consistent care, and they grow for you and look beautiful for you, and add to your life.
Oh, that's cool. So even if you don't have a green thumb, you too, like because I don't have a green thumb, you can do it. I have one plant that is 35 years old.
Congratulations.
And another one that is almost 50.
That's amazing.
Like as old as me. It was in somebody else's house for about 35 years, and then I inherited it. So you can do it. So call Amber and connect with her, and she will help you get started.